Opinions Unqualified. Welcome to everyone. Nixie, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic. Sammy?
That is good. Interesting thing, just before having a little look at our analytics, and obviously some people in America are getting pretty bored, Nixie, because we've got 2% of listeners from America listening to us.
It's pretty exciting, really. So we've got Germans and now Americans.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we get some Japanese sometime soon.
Something different. But Ohio and Illinois. So if you're listening to us again, let us know who you are so we can figure out something about our listeners.
Yeah, hit us on the socials.
Maybe jump on the pod.
Yeah, we'll do a Skype call or something. We'll get you on there. Be nice to get an American accent on there. Maybe a different point of view.
Something different. But anyway, we've got a very special guest today, Nixie, and I think you're going to give an amazing introduction.
Okay, yeah, I will. So I'll be straight honest. I feel very privileged to say that this guy's one of my best mates. He's hilarious. He's even more hilarious after a couple of beers. So I'm trying to load him up now as we do this. But he's a professional in work time. He's completely unprofessional outside of work time. But no, he's one of a kind, and it's Wolski. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Apologise, Sam. I've got the Queensland accent, not the USA accent, so I apologise straight off the bat.
So Wolski's here, and he's doing us a solid because it's his birthday tomorrow when we record. So his birthday's on the Tuesday. So I thought we'd just go straight into what is the perfect birthday destination or / party arrangement. So let's go with the destination first, and then if you can't actually go anywhere, how do you want to spend your birthday?
Like this year?
Well, let's just go any
I
year.
reckon I think Melbourne would be a good destination about now. I think it would be a good place to kind of hang out with one other friend. So.
Yeah, or at least you get one person there, I guess. So, I think if it's not this year, like say you had an unlimited budget and you could go anywhere to spend your birthday, where would it be?
I guess I am a proud Queenslander, so I'd imagine somewhere back on the East Coast, up around the Sunshine Coast or something like that is always good fun. But mate, anywhere there's good people and good drinks, I'm happy with that.
You the same, Sam?
Yeah, pretty much. I think I'd unlimited budget. I'd probably take everyone to Hawaii.
You love Hawaii.
Yeah, I love Hawaii. I think that would be sick. But otherwise it's usually always the shed. The shed's the place to be for a birthday.
Yeah, well, the shed for a birthday is pretty solid.
Just any shed or?
I think either Nixie or Sam's shed.
It has to be a good shed.
Yeah. We have good sheds. Yeah. I think like right now, the world being the world, I don't think there's a better place in the world than Western Australia. So we're pretty fortunate. But if the world was normal again, I reckon Disneyland. I love Disneyland. Love it.
It is a bit obscure, but I think one of my favourite places, either as a tourist or working, has been Chicago so far. So I really enjoyed up there.
I do love Chicago as well. It's a great city.
Just good vibe, good people, friendly, and I think it suits us pretty well.
Yeah. Well, so unfortunately, we're in the COVID world, and there's no going anywhere. So if you're going to, and we're in Perth, we can have a little party. If you're going to have a party, what are we doing?
Oh, starting off at the shed.
Yep.
Having a few. Some laughs.
I'm definitely a bit of a fan of an Irish pub.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's me.
Okay. Yeah, I quite like an Irish pub as well, but I think as long as I'll say moral is as long as you're with people that you care about and having a good time, that's all that matters, hey?
Good people, good times, that's all that matters.
So talking about Irish pubs, so I was scrolling through Facebook this evening and your name's popped up, Wolski, because you're going to some sort of music event.
Oh.
So I wanted to talk not particularly about that event because the event looked cool. It was traditional Irish music, couple of beers, so that looks the business. But all these Facebook invites that you get sent, like, what's the most random Facebook invite you've been sent?
Me personally, well, first of all, I'm a little bit concerned that you're scrolling and Facebook stalking me on a Monday night. But I don't know. I think you see. To be honest, I didn't have Facebook for a long time, and I missed out on a lot of events that I probably would have liked. So haven't got any random ones per se, but I definitely have found some stuff on there that that I enjoyed going to.
Yep.
Nothing too strange yet.
Is there anything that you've had it come up, Sam? Like weird things?
I haven't had anything too weird, really. Not invites, no. Back when Facebook used to let people see what you were liking, like what pages you were liking, I've seen some interesting things then. But in terms of invites, no, not really. Just the usual stuff.
I think it works out by analytics by what kind of websites you look at, Nixie. So your suggestions might be quite interesting.
Well, talking about that old suggestion things. So, like, it's funny. Like, say, I was looking through the old Facebook. I mentioned Wolski a few times, saying Wolski's coming around tonight. Wolski's coming around tonight, and the first person that pops up on my feed. It's Wolski.
Yeah.
It's the phone is listening to us.
Hey, stop that 5G.
Yeah, man, that 5G.
It brought in the COVID, didn't it?
Yeah, it's ruling the world. You've actually got a funny story, Sam. We won't mention any names, but about back in the day when Facebook first come out and a certain person's interests kept popping up.
Yeah, so, wow. Back when Facebook was allowing everyone to see what you were liking and what pages. Let's just say someone had particular interests in females.
Certain type of females?
A variety. Okay. We'll say a variety. But, they would come up on the Facebook feed and, I mean, probably, oblivious to what was actually happening when they were liking these pages. But yeah, look, it was quite funny at the time. If I was a person, I probably wouldn't be laughing with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was a sight.
I just think it's funny, that you've got this social media business or whatever, and pretty much your privacy is completely out the window. Like that, it isn't. Maybe they ask for permissions when you click like on a page or something, but. I guess the lesson is be careful what you're liking.
You got to be very careful
because some people can see it. I actually had a really interesting story that a parent was telling me the other day about is it VRNs? VRN is it?
VPN.
VPN.
When you can change your location.
Yeah. Because they had a early teenage son that would get on the computer and look at porn sites. And one day their mum jumped on and looked at the search history and found that this young man was looking at pornography on the computer. So the advice the dad gave was clear your history to start with. That's really important. But taught him about VPNs so that he could still get on and look at these things without mum finding. What do you think of that?
Well, I would have suggested incognito mode, but I mean VPN. I don't know how. I only used VPNs when I wanted to change my Netflix.
Okay, so to like an American Netflix.
Yeah, so I could get different programs and whatnot. I did it Belgium as well, so I could get some Belgian programs.
I think I did that for a PlayStation once when I wanted to get like an American game, an American version of a game, and download it.
It's getting pretty tough to do this stuff now, isn't it? I remember back in our day, it was just MSN Messenger, and that's about it. That's all you needed back then.
Yeah. Now there's so much out there. So, what's incognito? What mode is that? What's
doesn't.
He's playing naive here.
I actually don't know what it is.
Come on, man.
What is it? What do you do? Like, you just switch your location off or something?
Nah, it's not your location. It just doesn't save any history or anything like that.
Okay.
Like Google can and whatnot, all the websites can probably still see what you're doing and whatnot, but
that's quite interesting because I was talking to a police officer recently as well, and they were saying to me, well, actually, it was actually the ASADA that I was talking to, just about when they, they get players or they feel like something's happening, they can actually go through your phone, your physical phone, doesn't matter what's been deleted, and the whole history is still there. Even if it's been deleted or not, on your phone, they'll be able to grab anything from any particular time. So if you're doing something dodgy, they can find it.
Well, I don't doubt that.
Everything's out there. Everything's data, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just once it's in the I guess the cloud or the universe or what it is. Once it's out there, it's out there. There's no getting it back.
No, it's a bit scary, but just don't do anything stupid and you'll be alright.
Well, I guess when I was young, we had no mobile phones. We had none of this, so we could get away with doing some really stupid stuff and without anyone finding out. But now that's sort of like it's funny, like with phones particularly. Like you see something happen, like in the street, like someone could be struggling and rather than going to help that person, now people get their phones out and start recording it.
Yeah, there's always someone recording on their phone. Yeah.
That is a bit of a pet peeve of mine. People out on phones, just like at the pub with phones. Just, I don't know. I like to wish we could go back to the late 90s, early 2000s, away from that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think like you're out socialising. Shouldn't you be talking to the people you're with? Yeah, I guess our group of friends are pretty good though. Like they don't tend to be on there too much, but yeah.
I could expose if I might drop Nick when I got the perfect. It's kind of what's the word? It's bad because I recorded him recording someone else.
Oh, so you
because I was trying to catch him out on what he was doing.
That's fair enough.
But yeah, there was a little band playing up in Exmouth when we were up there, and he got up on one of the tables and started recording like the music, and I was like, "What are you?" So I got a good recording of him recording. I might drop it, put it on the Instagram so everyone can see.
Yeah. I'd do that. That's sort of similar like to going to concerts. So I'd go to a concert to see a band, and then like people go, "Oh, did you take any photos?" Or I'd go on a holiday. "You take any photos?" I'm like, "Man, I'm living in the moment here. I want to enjoy this." I feel like you spend so much time looking at your screen trying to capture the moment, you actually miss the moment.
Yeah.
And you see that happen sort of all the time. Sort of something happens and people are so worried about capturing what's happening rather than experiencing, the vibe. And I feel like, the actual vibe itself and the feeling is part of the reason why you go to those things, like just enjoying the moment. So
yeah, definitely. Well, I'm obviously an unashamable Oasis fan, and their documentary always explains that last concert they had at Nebworth, or when they last was one of the last ones without phones. So they're pre-phone. So nowadays people are using it for like, it used to be lighters, didn't you? You used to wave your lighter up in the air, but now it's all phone recording and stuff like that. So the last, where you line up at a record store to get your tickets, and then
I love
and
that.
do that. Yeah, that's the kind of little simple things that I miss.
Yeah, the whole going to it, and Sam would never have experienced this, but when you go, I remember a big day out, early 2000s, and having to go to my local record store to buy tickets, and they'd only be allocated a certain amount of tickets as well, so you could actually miss out on a ticket, because each store...
You sleep the night before to make sure you got a ticket. You'd stay out, wouldn't you?
You would, yeah. Like big concerts in Perth as well. Like you'd stay out the front of the entertainment centre, and you would see like people camping out overnight and be there from like, say the tickets went on sale at 10 a.m. on Friday, they'd be there from 10 a.m. on Thursday to make sure they got to the front of the line, like particularly for the big acts.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and it's the same with footy. Like if a team made a finals, people would camp out to get tickets. Yeah, it's just a whole community experience.
Well, they do that for shoes now.
Really?
Yeah, like I think especially in America where like the sneaker culture is quite big and whatnot, and when like a certain type of shoe only gets released at a place or something like that, people camp out for it because the resale value on shoes now can be crazy.
Apple, all that kind of stuff too, isn't it? Like new phones and stuff like that, iPhones and stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy. And again, talking about that technology stuff, and we've gone a little off track here, but we do that pretty much every
15 minutes into it and we're off track.
Yeah, we do that. I was listening to an interview the other day with he was a guy that helped people get off gaming.
Oh,
and it was like mobile phone games and other games as well. He was saying on the interview that there's actually people that will soil themselves to stay in the game rather than getting up and going to the toilet.
Yeah. Things like in Queensland, like pokies and stuff like that, and slot machines, like that's the same thing happens there. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe they're so addicted to the game that they don't eat, like shit and piss themselves just to keep playing. Like it's insane.
We're definitely off track.
Yeah. Well, and then there's people that with the have in-app purchases, like you're playing a game.
Oh yeah, when you purchase,
like the amount
thousands of dollars.
Yeah, money people are spending on just getting like an extra life for their game.
Who is that? That NBA player or ex-NBA player or whatever, and his son spent like thousands of dollars on a game.
Was it Amari Stoudemire?
I don't know. It was one of them, but yeah, their sons spent like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, 30 grand or something.
Yeah, great. I was like, gee whiz.
Yeah, that was a phone game as well, or was it Fortnite?
No, I think it was Fortnite
yeah,
or
it was
something
Fortnite.
like that.
Lucky he's an NBA player's son.
Yeah.
No, but again, who has a credit card that allows that sort of payment and gives it to their children? So I'm sure your kids have spent that money, but wouldn't you have some sort of limit on like what they can spend? But I guess a lot of stories with the NBA guys is that they're broke within 5 years of being in the league.
Does happen.
So yeah, so that's crazy. So we're just past the weekend, and Sam and I made a decision to go down to a beautiful little town there I'm from, which is Collie, and celebrate my brother's birthday. So shout out to you, Shawnee. I hope you had a good time. And the one thing that sort of I'm taking away is, damn, it's cold down there. It is so cold.
Country towns do it, don't they? Something about them. The wind.
We woke up in the morning, so to come back, because I had to get back for a game in the afternoon, and the car was covered in ice, like completely covered in ice, and it took us about 5 minutes to get water and wipers and put the heater on inside to get out there. But I just can't believe being in Western Australia, like how cold it was. And I grew up there. I just can't remember ice being over a car, you know. It was full on. And then driving over the hills and down in the valleys, the trees were covered in ice.
Frost, yeah.
Yeah, it was insane. So, what did you get up to the weekend?
What did I get up to the weekend? I can't even remember. It's been so long ago. No, I actually had a quiet one, knowing that I have a bit of a birthday week ahead of me, and I guess the debauchery that's going to happen next weekend. So I actually had a quiet one. Just watched the rugby at home, and played a bit of golf yesterday. So just a pretty low key, uninteresting one. Nothing really happened. Stayed off Tinder, so it's all been good.
What's your handicap now?
I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want this recorded. At the moment.
But the advantage of having a high handicap is that you win lots.
Yeah. That's right. That is true. That is true. But you play in a very low division, I guess. So
see, for me, I would deliberately go out there and play bad while I'm trying to get a handicap, and then get the highest possible one.
That's Dad's pet peeve when he plays golf.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
People with high handicaps.
Yeah, I think it's playing from a sport background myself, and my body can't handle the vigors of rugby anymore. So golf seems to be the latest competitive game, but geez, I even pull up sore from golf these days.
Yeah, particularly if you're walking 18 holes. Like it's a long day,
and you have a really bad swing.
Yeah, that doesn't help as well. That definitely doesn't help. So Sam, obviously you were down in Collie. What do you think?
It was nice. It was pumping down there at the pub. We went to the pub.
I'd imagine it'd be a pretty cool place to be.
It was fun, yeah, it was fun. And they had a competition down there called Collie Idol, which is like a local singing competition. And we just happened to rock up in town at the right time, didn't we, Sammy? And Nixie got up on stage and rocked the boat.
Jeez. Yeah, well, actually, it was Collie Idol, but I don't think now that I think about it, they didn't announce a winner. I don't think so. Nixie, I think
no one won that night.
Nah, Nixie won it. Yeah, Nixie won it. Well, just self-claimed winner.
It's self-claimed victory.
Yeah.
I'd imagine Collie would be more famous for a wet t-shirt concert before a
singing
Australia. Yes.
Well, it's funny actually, because when I was young,
you probably would have won that too, Nixie.
I have developed some nice pecs. So when I was younger, like that's another thing, like wet t-shirt comp, but things like that were so common when I was a kid. Like Dad would go to the pub and go, I'm going to see the Skimpies.
Yeah.
You know, every Friday night, Mum would get home from work or whatever, and the old man would jump in the old car and drive down and go see the Skimpies for a couple of hours. Like, they don't have them anymore. I think they're even illegal.
Oh, just Kalgoorlie's the only place.
Yeah, I think Kalgoorlie you're allowed to, legally.
Yeah.
I think that's the only place in the state you can do it. So, but yeah, it's just how times change, I guess. Not that I'd really be interested in that too much anyway. I just want to be
Yeah. No, it was a good time down there, though. It's good fun.
Yeah,
good.
Talking about beer, firstly, we had some beer on the weekend, and when you get a can that just that sound when you're opening a can, like shh.
The good,
Is that opening a can sound better than the popping of a bottle?
Oh, that's a good question. I think
I still like the first opening of a whiskey bottle. It's still one of my favourite sounds.
Yeah,
No, the pop.
Oh, the corked whiskey bottles.
Yeah. That's what I'm about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you go like bottle, like a beer bottle or a can, I'll probably go with a can. Probably makes the most satisfying sound when you open it.
Are you a cans or bottles drinker? Like I still like cans.
Well, I'll be honest. I'll drink anything. That's
Yeah.
But I prefer cans. I do prefer cans than bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just like the feel, the shape, the taste out of a can.
You get more in cans as well.
That definitely adds to it.
Kind of reminds me of a rodeo back home. That's the sound of a can opening for me.
Yeah. Well, again, I went to a rodeo out here at Boyett Brook a few years ago, and that was fun, man.
Oh yeah.
That was so much fun, and that was sort of like, if you're talking about drunken debauchery,
I know.
that's a rodeo.
Yeah.
Like, people just go mental. They take their tents and stuff. They just camp in a paddock and go for live music and like there's like rodeo all day, music all night. Like it's mental. Like, is that what it's like in Queensland?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No doubt. I'd imagine the ones overseas and this like Texas and all that would be pretty epic, but they'll probably take it a bit more seriously than we take it.
Yeah, I wasn't too concerned about the actual horse riding and bull riding and stuff. It was cool. It was really cool to see it, but for me, it was more about the entertainment than anything else.
I think that's kind of any kind of local show or in the country. It's always a bit of fun. Like I imagine Collie would have a pretty good few nights like that, like events and stuff like that.
Yeah, they have their bush races down there, like Collie Cup.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fun. They big on speedway, so
all that stuff is
that's
cool.
a country sport as well.
Collie reminds me a lot of my hometown, Kingaroy in Queensland. Very similar.
Yeah.
Same size, kind of like same activities, same debauchery.
Yep, that's pretty much the town. Yeah, so good place to visit. Some really beautiful spots down there as well if you want to see, rolling hills and beautiful lakes and rivers and. So yeah, you didn't get to see any of that, Sam, but next time we go, some of that.
You saw the pub.
Yeah, I saw the pub. I saw the workers.
Yep, Workers Club. That was cool.
I had more beer down there than I have here in the last 3 years or something like that.
We're in a country town. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Went to the Crown.
Went to the Crown.
Yeah, went to the Crown. That's where the big singing one was.
Saw a local drunk crossing the street.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting.
And you guys were all surprised.
We're actually surprised they're still alive. So, yeah. So back to that beer conversation with the cans. So we were reviewing some ginger beer. So
we didn't record it though as well. That's the only thing. That's it. We'll do it again, but...
Yeah. But one of the things that sort of I mentioned was the sound of the can. So we reviewed, was it
Brookvale Union.
Yeah, Brookvale Union and the James Squire.
Yeah.
So we had the Brookvale Union first, and that was really nice. It was really nice. It was the first beer of the day, so we wanted something a little sweeter to give us a little pep up. And then we opened the James Squire after that, and the sound of the can of the James Squire was part of why I enjoyed that so much because it sounded better.
You did love it. You did love that opening.
Yeah. The way that it opened, it just had that real crisp sort of crack, which I love. But between the two, I think the Brookvale Union, was like a real ginger beer.
Yeah, if you wanted a ginger beer.
Yeah.
Whereas the James Squire tasted more like a fruit punch.
Yeah, it was weird tasting. Like
it had like an aniseedy taste.
Yeah, if it didn't have like the label of ginger beer on it, you wouldn't guess that it was ginger beer if you just drank it.
I find them pretty dangerous, those drinks. Like it's the kind of drink you'd have after you've just mowed the lawn in 40 degrees and just have a quiet drink, straight to rehydrate.
I think Wolski's braver than us. 40 degrees mowing the lawn.
Yeah. Very easy to drink, and we'll probably catch up on you pretty quickly.
Yeah, there's a couple of really, really nasty ones, isn't there?
Yeah, I've come to a fact that any of the cheap drinks that sit at 8%, if you have more than a few of those, it's not going to be a good night.
No.
Oh, it could be a
What's
great
good
night.
night?
Oh, it's a good night.
For a very small moment, it's a great night.
The next day.
Yes.
And then
There's a couple of hour window in there when it's a great night.
and then it's all downhill.
It sort of reminds me a little bit of back when I was young, and you'd have like Fruity Alexia, like
Yeah, I remember
Cooler
that.
Bar.
yeah, the Cooler Bar one, or you'd have the Passion Pop,
Yeah.
you know, which would treat cheap drinks, but would get you done. But the next day you were absolute hell. That's sort of like these cheap ginger beers and things that are out.
Yeah, the fat lambs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just absolute good time.
Good time.
for a little bit. Good time when you like at the bottle shop and you're like, oh hell yeah, like got all this stuff for like that much money, and then
And you're just like, it's a Wednesday night. What do I do?
and they just it's just like a right hook out of nowhere. At some point in the night, it just hits you, and you
So we're dropping some advice here for the young ones.
yeah.
Well,
Spend that a little
Spend
bit
the
more if you
extra.
can, to feel better at the end of the day.
but our opinions are unqualified though.
Completely unqualified. Completely. We have no
So
idea.
do
what
not
to
fact
talk
check us. It's more of a, title's more of a disclaimer than anything, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
So we
yeah.
can
Covers us. It covers us.
It covers us legally.
Yeah, so anyway, there's a lot of those ginger beers out now. So I think, if you do enjoy a ginger beer, I'd get out there and try those two, particularly. What I wanted to talk to is something a little bit more serious. On the way down, there was a detour.
No, I was on the way back.
Well, on the way down as well.
Was there?
Yeah, because we were going down and then we went to the main road. There was no sign that there was going to be a detour at all.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was on the way there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was one on the way back, but we sort of knew what was happening.
we knew.
So we're on the way down, and we're travelling through this town, which was Harvey. So anyone that works in Harvey and works on the road, you guys have to do a way better job of putting signs up. So we get to the main road, and then we go to turn right, and there's a detour there. So the whole Southwest Highway was closed for a section, and there was no sort of arrow where we could detour. So we had to work our way through. So my bugbear this week is, if you are closing portions of a road, give people plenty of notice before they hit that detour, and then have the detour arrows sort of at every street, so you know which way to go.
Yeah, it wasn't good because we'd well, we're almost there, weren't we? Like we were not
About
far
half an
away.
hour from home, yeah.
So and I was holding in a piss,
Yep.
and then you see this detour, and then we did about 5 laps of Harvey before we figured out how to get to Collie from there, and it just wasn't good, was it? Really, like, I mean, old mate's probably just been a little bit lazy on the detour side. So just like, no one's coming down here anyway. If they are coming down here, they know where to go.
Find your
anyway.
own way home.
Pretty much. Yeah. You work your way through here. It's like, you hopefully, luckily we went in a hurry, but it's sort of like a puzzle. Like, find your way out. It's like a maze. Yeah. So we got out of there though.
We did. We made it.
We sort of felt like we had to go backwards to go forwards though.
We did, yeah.
The only bad thing about that is, like, Western Australia, if you take the wrong turn, you could be in serious trouble. You end up in the middle of Nullarbor somewhere and with no food and water, and like, there's like serious repercussions for this.
There is. But those detours. So we tend to have a little bit of bugbear with roadworks and things, because on the way home as well, like on a Sunday, we're driving back through the city, and we get to the city with no issues at all.
Great timing.
Really good timing. We got our timing right. As soon as we hit the city, we pass basically just past the city, and we're Grandfather Freeway comes on to the Freeway North, and traffic is backed up, and we're like, what is happening here? It's a Sunday. There can't be anything. Unless it's an accident. Let's hope it's not an accident. We're saying that. And then the freeway at Hutton Street, they closed 3 of the 4 lanes, but they did it all at one spot, so it wasn't like gradually merging. It was like, bang, here's three lanes closed, work it out. And, I am from here, and I think we get a bit of a rough deal for the whole of West Australia being bad mergers, because it's not everyone. There is a large percentage of them that are pretty poor.
Yeah.
But you can't do that with West Australian people, is just close 3 lanes and expect us to work it out.
Yeah, it wasn't a good idea.
Yeah.
Once again, Sunday, old mate probably had a big Saturday night and was just like, I can't be bothered driving any further and doing the cones that far. I'll just bloody close it all off in one point.
Let's just hope there's no local council workers listening to this right now.
Yeah. Well, I think take notes.
Yeah. Constructive criticism, I think.
Yeah, right. Fair enough.
Yeah, because I think if they manage that right, so if they sort of close one lane and then had a period of time where they close the next lane, then a little period then close the third, and then you have the fourth lane, and we're sort of merging into one.
I think it would have probably flowed a little bit better.
And I'm actually questioning why 3 lanes needed to be closed. To be honest, because they were on the left-hand side. Like, I reckon they could have got away with 2 lanes.
Probably, but
taking their safety into account as well, because I understand that that's their priority. So
yeah, I mean, well, we just tracked such good time on the way back, and then we hit that, and once again, I timed my toilet break greatly, and then we got hit with that traffic, and I was like, oh dang it.
Well, let's be fair. We could never complain about traffic in Perth ever.
Well, that's true.
Let's be really fair.
Well, even in peak period, it's not that bad.
Nah, not at all.
I've been in worse over east and overseas. So I've been in LA peak hour.
Oh,
I've been in India.
actually, I've been.
India,
I've been in India.
Yeah, so I think India would just be something else. LA was really bad.
Yeah,
I've been there as well. Yeah, that was bad. Just for the little bit of distance that we had to travel as well was like, oh my jeez.
Yeah, we're going from Anaheim to LA. And we just decided we weren't going to LA. Pulling out here, and we're just not going because
fair enough.
It was just insane.
Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, I guess our traffic's not too bad.
It's alright.
I mean, I don't know. Still can't merge though. Even on the way here, getting on the freeway, there was 3 cars, and I was getting on the freeway, and they still managed not to be able to merge.
Really?
Yeah, it was slightly aggravating.
Well, probably should be. Like,
It is a wet night though. That also makes us.
It
panic.
wasn't raining that bad at the time.
But it's been wet today. It's been raining.
Yeah, that makes us panic a bit. It rains 3 times a year, so like.
It should probably be part of the driving test.
What?
How to
merge?
merge.
Yeah, probably should.
How do you merge? Even if it's like a drawing, it's like, because it's not hard. It's like one car goes, you let a car in, then the next car comes, and you let a car in. Like it's.
People hate to be beaten though, and they just think, I'll let this car in front of me.
Well,
this bastard's gonna get there before me.
Well, we do like race cars, so I guess.
Yeah, but it's like, you're probably gonna go quicker if everyone learn how to merge properly.
Well, you would. So I want to talk to you, Wolski, just about, again, something you do in your professional life, which is you're a. What's your actual official title?
Oh, strength and conditioning coach.
Strength and conditioning coach, yeah. So I want to talk about, because you work with Olympic level athletes, and you're obviously really well renowned and really well regarded within your field, and you've worked in teams that prep for seasons as well. So what do you find are the difference between athletes that are prepping for competition, so like an Olympics, compared to elite athletes that are prepping for, say, a season?
Yeah. Well, again, working with Olympic sports and professional sports, you get both the ends of that spectrum. I think the biggest one for the guys who work for in the Olympic sports, we typically run on like 2-year kind of cycles. So there's always like a world champs after 2 years, and then 2 years after that's going to be the Olympics. So there is a lot of difference in the athletes, because Olympic sport athletes are typically amateurs, so they're trying to do work and uni as well as their sport. But the fact that they know they've only got really a peak every 2 years is something they need to keep like motivated for. So it's the repercussions of losing that World Championships or the Olympics is far greater than like a team sport athlete who loses one game and they can rectify it the next week. But in saying that, the guys who work with the Olympic sports and the guys who work with and do the World Championships, we have a lot longer preparation. So, you're talking to my mates who are currently working in professional sports, where you're talking 4-week pre-seasons with like a kayaker or something like that I work with. I might have 6 months to prepare for. But the big thing is just keeping them motivated and focused, because after a long period of time, attention can wane a little bit, or I guess different messages come from different people, so they might go off in a wrong direction. So you just got to keep them focused on that one goal. But there's not a lot of difference in those because they're both elite athletes and they both want to win. And it's just kind of a norm for them if they like when their peak is. But I enjoy working with both. I find it like a lot easier, or not easier, but like I find it a lot more common sense working with the long-term sport athletes, so we can actually have a proper periodization season. But when we have a season like week to week, it can turn into chaos pretty quickly. So you're more like putting out spot fires.
So you spoke about sort of the one competition and they prepare for it, and so you've been in this situation before. I know you've been in this situation before where you've had an athlete get ill or get injured after all of that preparation. Mm-hmm. So how do you help an athlete to get through something like that mentally if they've put all this time and all this energy into competing? And Marcus, who was on our show, he's a wrestler and he qualified for the World Championships and then got injured in the lead up. Mm-hmm. So he's probably someone that we could probably hit up as well at some point. But how do you help him get through something like that?
Well, it's obviously devastating with those guys because especially like your wrestlers and those guys who are trying to get ranking points to get to qualify for the Olympics and World Champs and stuff like that. So like a little stint away from wrestling can actually hurt them a lot, as you would have said. But I don't know, like I think you always think about the optimistic side of things. So it's like, all right, we might have injured, we may have missed this, but this is a great opportunity for us to do something that we never get the chance to do. Let's work on this attribute. Okay, you might have hurt your knee. You know what? Our upper body strength can get improved. So it's more about like, things happen. Things happen in sport. It's a very like complex, dynamic situation. So it's more about spinning things into a positive thing. And go, you know what? We're going to work on some attribute. We didn't have this opportunity before, and again, like 2 years does come around pretty quickly. So they might miss the World Champs, but you've got start your preparation that next day for the Olympics. So it I think, and things move along pretty quickly for us, and the athlete gets hurt, but we can move on to some different things that we never got the opportunity to work on, and just keep them focused on that goal. But again, at the end of the day, I want to win gold medals, so that's what I'm focused on the Olympics.
Yep. I think obviously the forward planning and your ability to see things sort of unfold and like within their preparation, like what sort of targets and goals you want to hit along the way are pretty important. Like, are you setting like little mini goals for these people, or is it more this is the big goal?
Yeah, I think it's a good question because I think early on in my career I probably overplanned things and thought about, this is the scientific literature would say that we need to do this, then do this, and do this. But then I guess the more I've been in the game, I have an overall plan that we're going to think of, but then I also know the day-to-day differences in the athlete and week to week. I can't predict what's going to happen in 6 weeks' time because of the differences. It's sports, it's dynamic. So I think I have a skeleton plan in the background, but it still comes down to the day-to-day art of coaching with those kind of things. So if my goal for this particular period was to build strength, if I still don't think that they hit the right strength levels, I'm not going to change because the scientific plan said no, change to power now. So I like to read the athlete for what I see rather than what I plan. There is a lot of planning involved in saying that, and particularly a lot of talking with the coaches. But I think one of the biggest kind of changes I've made is to be read the athlete, not necessarily read the plan.
Okay. Well, that's yeah.
Well, I'm going to turn it a little bit more light-hearted questions here.
Yeah.
Okay. We went deep there.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And while you were talking, my mind was thinking of something to say. And,
I love that, Sammy.
And I was wondering, right? So let's say me and Nixie wanted to tag team, bowling, 10-pin bowling, right? We're gonna destroy the Thursday night league. What would be our number one exercise? If you are a strength and conditioning coach,
to become a good bowler.
First of all, I'd tell Nixie to wear a knee brace. And go, that's crucial.
Yep.
I know, 10-pin bowling, that's one sport I dabbled with.
See,
I know big in Asia.
So I was thinking lunges. You know,
Yeah,
lunging,
gotta
you're
get down
lunging
low.
when you.
But you got to be careful though too, because obviously if you're bowling a lot, you're going to be lunging a lot. So you almost like you don't want to overdo it in so many
70
degrees. So almost, yeah, so almost go something opposite. Maybe something slow and heavy instead of lunging.
Well, that would be good for Mooka. Hopefully, her Friday morning career will take off after that advice.
Yeah.
Is Mooka playing temping bowling?
Yeah,
is she?
Mooka's,
Okay.
Mooka's a superstar.
But I guess like, from my own experience of temping bowling, if you bowl, you can't use your wrist for the next 10 days afterwards. So
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, I'm more a precision guy than a power guy.
no, I'm just muscle it
Power.
down, just bicep curl it down.
And then my other sport was dart. What would we be training if we try to play some darts?
Well, I always feel the more drinks you have, the better you get
Yep.
with darts. So I think that would be my first advice for you.
So I guess we need to sort of climatise the environment as well. So more time at the pub.
More time. Yeah, that might. Yeah. This is whilst he's the best strength and conditioning coach
Yeah,
ever.
I'm saying this to you, Sam. I don't say this to anyone else.
So another thing I wanted to talk about is we like to party.
We do.
We like
a good
to
time.
party.
We
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a good time.
So I've had this going through my head for a little while now, and where's the best place to stand at a party? So you go into a party, and there's probably a couple of scenarios that you have to consider. So say you go to a party with a mate, and it's their family's party, and you don't really know anyone. So in that scenario, where do you stand? Where's the best place for you to stand to I guess to be involved, but obviously cater to your shyness or in a new environment?
I wouldn't say that. I would say no to the dance floor, straight up.
Yep. Okay. Yep. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Well, yeah.
Would like.
I see. Yeah. If I'm going there for mate, probably I'd probably hang on the outskirts a little bit.
Yep.
Maybe find that other person that's also maybe hang on the outskirts a little bit, and maybe strike up a conversation there and see what the guy is. Maybe they're a bit of a guest as well or something like that,
So yeah, when you're a little uncomfortable, it's probably better to scope the environment first, I guess. So get on the outside. I'm always one to find out where the cold beer is. So around close to where the drinks are, because we all need a little Dutch courage sometimes. So just drop a couple of beers in me, and then I tend to get a little bit more social. And then I think probably the first thing to do is thank the host for having you. Is that something that people do these days?
That's probably a good idea. Yeah.
It's probably a bit too much kindness for these days.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I guess if you get introduced to them early, straight away, then
And as you should, such
probably fair enough to say thanks for having
I
me.
don't know if I like your theory there, Sam, because if you go up to the guy who's standing by himself, there's probably a reason he's standing by himself. Too.
I wasn't saying that it had to be a guy either.
Oh, well.
Why'd you have to assume the gender there?
Well, to tell you what, if it's a girl standing by herself, that's even worse. So it's something more up.
Yeah.
Well, I start on the outside, work your way in.
And
Yeah,
I guess that's if it's like so what if you're at a house?
Yeah. Do I know people, or is it still?
Yeah, same situation, but it's a house. So because then there's like outside and inside parties. So this is a party where there's people inside and outside.
Well, that's a tough one. I'd probably be an outside kind of person.
I'm outside, no doubt.
I'm outside. I
Yeah.
feel like going into someone's house that you don't know when you can be outside
Yeah, definitely.
is tough. What if you know the people
Know the people right in the middle.
in the middle?
I'm more of an
Most of the
outside
time.
person, though. Outside person. Like, inside for bathroom, outside for party.
Inside for bathroom, outside for party. What if we spoke about this the other week? What if like you could wee anywhere? Like if there's an outside option, are you going outside rather than inside? If there's an outside option to go for a wee,
I need a context for that. I need some context.
Outside.
So you're-
outside.
Just say outside.
If I
I think the right answer. Is outside.
if I see someone else go, that's
Yeah.
it's game on. Then that's fine. I just don't want to be the first when I first get there.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. I find that people always navigate to the kitchen.
Kitchen.
Like, so you go to a house party. Do you notice that everyone's always in the kitchen?
Kitchen. Yeah. It is.
Always in the
It's
kitchen.
kind of where the girls hang out and have their like cocktail drinks and stuff like that. I'm usually
Well,
outside.
I like a cocktail.
I'm usually
so-
I'm usually outside by the fire.
So you're saying like the blokes go outside
Yeah,
and the girls stay inside
yeah,
in the kitchen.
yeah.
And it's not because of any sort of like sexist reason or anything. It's just that's what you notice at parties.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I think people
That's probably
just
fair,
Sort
what
of
it does,
gravitate
yeah.
towards the kitchen.
But-
Parties.
If they're making cocktails, I'll be there.
Yeah, I enjoy a cocktail.
So.
Right, so if anyone out there has an idea of where you would hang out at a party,
The game plan.
yeah, the game plan, send us your best party game plan.
Yeah.
Give us a little scenario as well, and then what we'll do is we'll read it out on our next show.
Yeah.
We'll read the whole game plan out.
Love it.
Yeah, so just let us know. So Sam, look at the time.
Yeah, that is time. And this is where we usually hit the old give us some love on our socials and be interactive with us. I'm not saying that we've hit a brick wall yet, Nixie, in terms of our followers. We've got our lovely followers already, but I think we need some more love.
Well, my advice is share because you care.
Yeah, I think we need some, like how we got American people listening to us now. There's someone different that we don't know.
Well,
we need more. We don't know.
Well, the statistics do say that most podcasts finish after 7,
And we're
at
past
12.
that. We're smashed.
We're nearly double that. So I think we just got some time. But if anyone can help us by sharing and commenting and just giving that general love for the pod, we'd appreciate it.
We're going to get videos out soon as well, which is going to be a little bit something else to be engaging.
Something different.
Yeah, which will be exciting.
Yeah.
Whenever Sean decides to take up his internship that he's been talking about.
I do have to say that I've got a face for radio though, so I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, there might be a few less followers after that.
Nah, that's all right. That's all right. Confidence is key.
I do want to say a big thank you to Wolski for coming on the show. Really appreciate your unqualified insights in some areas and then your super qualified insights into the others. Hopefully you've had a time.
Yeah, it's been good, mate. Really good.
And what do you say, Sam?
Thank you.
All right. Sure.